So with the Mando, I try to make my own decisions, follow my own opinions, so I'm not joining the chorus, which is getting crazy that the Mando is totally disgusting and stupid. It's lost track completely, it's now garbage. I don't agree, but I also am skeptical to people saying the Mando is totally back, it's 100% great. I don't think that is true either, and these episodes bear that out because it is some very dodgy storytelling. So, without spoiling too much what has happened, well, episode 4 at least gives us, I think, a very good Mando centric adventure, and I did enjoy that one. I think that's the strongest episode out of 4, 5, and 6. And that is coincidentally directed by Carl, so that's interesting. Maybe just his familiarity with the Mando brand really added something. Unfortunately, that gets us to episodes 5 and 6, where, without saying too much, it just got very flat. It just really didn't seem to be going anywhere, especially episode 6 was, when you think about it, kind of skippable. It's sort of like an epilogue, and you can just watch the highlights and you get the essence of the story. So that was very disappointing. But let's begin strong with episode 4, where essentially a child is kidnapped, and Mando and Bo-Katan have to team up, save the child, and we get more good character moments. And we get a very powerful twist with the armor, and I think that was laid out fairly strong. However, I will have some criticisms of Bo-Katan and the quote gender politics of the Mando in Star Wars, but I will put that at the end. But I think the twist, the way it was set up in episode 4, was strong. So within that episode, I had no issue with it. And I have no problem with Bo-Katan as a character. I don't dislike her. But I will say her importance in this season is a little bit too much. And that brings us to episodes 5 and 6, where basically it does seem like a Bo-Katan story, and the Mando is tagging along. Now, the Mando can have a lot of strong episodes where he is basically a side character. I mean, the best episode of Boba Fett was basically about the Mando. So again, the Mando can increase or decrease in importance and have a good story. Still, it's called The Mandalorian, and it is true that these episodes are more Mando-focused than the previous seasons, and I appreciate that, but it just seems with this entire series, the Mando just keeps getting lost. He's just not a very important character in his own story. And you might think, especially with me, like, oh, that's a really interesting, radical, aesthetic experiment. And I gotta be honest, if this was George Lucas, I'd be like, oh yeah, maybe they're doing an experiment. I don't think it's an experiment. I just think they're using the Mando to sell other things all over again. It's getting a little frustrating because, yes, they did set up that Mando and the pirates would have issues. And so the action sequences and the fighting was fine. I had no issue with it, but it just felt very empty because we're just going in a circle. It's like, oh, Mando fights pirates. Right. But why do we need Bo-Katan? It's like, I don't know. We just need Bo-Katan, I guess, because Dave Filoni likes Ahsoka. He likes Bo-Katan. Bo-Katan is going to be the new... Got to make her the head monkey. And then things get really dumb with episode 6. And again, I usually try not to join the haters, but they really pushed it over the edge because the Christopher Lloyd appearance is totally wasted because you will see the twist from a mile away. It's just so off. The good parts are pretty obvious. Yes, the prequel references and allusions I thought were very well done. Visually, it was very stunning, but it just wasn't going anywhere. And Jack Black, yes, is amusing, but Lizzo's acting was horrible. The Duchess was just terrible. I mean, this is just not good acting. It's really up there with Jar Jar. It's just really too much. And at the end of the day, what did we learn? Oh, droids have their culture, humans have their culture. We knew this already. They established nothing. This thing was totally pointless. There was no point in even doing the episode. It just was flashy, nice visual moments here and there. And once again, Bo-Katan. Hey, Bo-Katan is important, everyone. Hey, you want to know the lesson of this episode? Bo-Katan is important. I think we got that with at least 4 episodes of this entire season. And one episode barely had the Mando, which I think is probably a good thing, because then it would have had Bo-Katan attached. I don't know if Bo-Katan is the reason that people are not watching the Mando as much as they used to, but again, the character is fine. But really, I would have to agree with the criticism, is they're negating almost everything that happened in Season 2, where it seemed that the whole puzzle here was how the Mando was going to handle the Darksaber. How is Bo-Katan gonna handle the Darksaber? That's the real puzzle. And it's like, but what was the point of season 2 if the puzzle was gonna be her puzzle and not his puzzle? I don't think they're trying to do some radical feminist, communist, Marxist, whatever. But this just feels like a very lazy undoing of the twist of season 2 for a not very creative twist with this season. So it's a little frustrating. I'm gonna give episode 4 7.25, and the other episodes 7 out of 10 for episode 5, but a very severe 6.5 for episode 6. That was really pointless and really, really, for the most part, empty. And just a shame they didn't do with more with Christopher Lloyd, because I was really pumped. Oh, yeah, Christopher Lloyd. And then they didn't do anything. It's just more time with Bo-Katan establishing she's worthy of the saber. Oh, really? What a shock.